in the words of John Paul Young, love is in the air. We're coming up to the 14th of February. What does that signify? Well, it used to be a Christian feast back in the early 400 AD. It then became more of a romantic thing in the 18th century. And we know it now as the schmaltzy box of chocolates, roses. And that's what we do on a romantic front. So me and Joe flipped it on its head this week. And we're going to be talking, showing some love. Or is it that strained look across your business here of how you keep that spark flowing in your business? So today, folks, is about romantic love towards your business. Is it healthy? How should you maintain it? Why should you even bother? And we have a wonderful bit of intro music here to kickstart the show. Stay with us for a wonderfully half an hour packed of good stuff. And we are back in the room, as we say. So, folks, listen, if you just joined us, obviously, you know the usual drill. Comments, we want to hear them. Love for your business. Do you have it? Joe, great to see you again, albeit we spoke earlier a few minutes ago. How's your week been? And what's the romantic love you have with your business?
Oh, lots of questions there. Thank you. It's great to see you too. And I was very impressed with all the homework on the history of St. Valentine's Day. I didn't know all of that. The history of St. Valentine's Day. And I'm pleased that I stopped rocking it out to the music, because we always dance. You can't see us. We can see each other off camera when the music's playing, and we always have a dance, don't we?
It's probably good that they don't see my dancing. Yours is probably a different story.
Yeah, mine's a bit of mum dancing, but we have to sort of time it right and guess when Mummy's going to stop the music. So no, it's been a great week, really busy week. It feels like, I mean, spring's coming, and that feels good, and it also feels good that we're all getting out and about a lot more, you know, and the world's getting there and opening up. It just has such a different vibe to everything. And well, you know me, Mahmood, I love business. I love the business that I do, and my business, and the customers I work with, and all the colleagues I work with, and all of those things. And I think when you feel like that, when you have that, you know, you love what you're doing, and you love the business that you're driving, it makes such a difference, doesn't it? It makes such a difference. And it's about, I think it's an active thing, you know. It's your business will give back to you what you give to it a lot of the time. And so therefore, if you're feeling good and looking after it, then hopefully it will, you know, you're more likely to get that back at you in terms of the results and the outcomes that you see.
100%. I mean, I think we did it as a twee thing, but I think there are a lot of parallels between love in a human being to human being context and actually that same vibe in terms of your business here. So you know, I suppose that early romantic days here, when you connect with your business here, it's going to be lots of honeymoon type love there as well. You're not actually looking at the realities of what that's like to sustain a meaningful relationship going forward. You're going to have highs, you know, you're going to have lows as well, but it's about, I suppose, how we keep that love going. And I suppose the first thing, and you've answered pretty much, is it essential to actually love your business and what you do?
I think, you know, we can all be successful at things we don't love, but we'll be even more successful at the things we do love. So we can work hard at anything, we can make anything work, but is it as good as it's ever going to be or ever could be when we don't love it? I don't think so. And there's lots of research that shows that when we are strong at something, you know, when we're good at something and when we're passionate about it, those two things come together to really drive much higher performance than just being good at something. Or, you know, we need, the thing about it's interesting, the word passion, because the word passion comes from the Latin meaning to suffer. And of course, that's what passion means, is it? You know, we love it so much, we would, you know, we go through things, we put effort in, we give energy, and therefore it's because we care and we want things to succeed. So I think it's pretty important, or very important, that we love what we do, because therefore we're more likely to get the best outcomes overall.
Oh, I agree with you that, and I think also, for me, there's also a visualization thing. So, whether you are a very well-established oak tree of a business, with lots of staff, freelancers, very hectic, whether you're just starting your business journey, I think the key thing is to actually differentiate yourself between your business as this thing and you being connected to that. So you've actually got a two-way relationship going there as well. It's about probably having some shared values, with what your business represents, and make sure they resonate with you. So that we maybe have talked about this before, where you pursue money for money's sake, then that's likely to be a disaster that's in the wings waiting to hijack you. So how do you keep the romance alive, I suppose, in your business? I know we're using lots of parallels by those folks to Valentine's. If you feel you want to send us some chocolates, by the way, then we're more than happy to accept them. If you've got any romantic gestures that you want to display about your business, give it a thumbs up, then obviously we'd like to hear that as well. So how do you keep the spark alive, Joe? Because I know you work tremendously hard. I know you sometimes let sleep get in the way, you take rest, but you do work frenetically hard. You're one of the hardest working people that I've met here. So how do you actually keep that, that sort of enjoyment for your business going?
Yeah, I think business, for business to achieve its potential, it does need the effort and the sweat from us. That's, I think you call it sweat equity, quite a lot, Mahmood. And if we're going to invest so much time and effort into something, we need to love it, because, to be honest, life is too short. And sometimes it does feel hard, right? I'm not saying that every day is easy and straightforward. It absolutely isn't. And I think the place to start is really by knowing yourself and understanding, everybody, and this is different for everybody, but it's to look inwards and say, what's important to me? Where do I get my motivation? What really lights me up? What drives me forward? And then make sure that you're saying yes to things that do that. And you're minimizing, there are some things we need to do, whether we like doing them or not. But minimize those and really focus on, the why that you're in business. What is it that, I love seeing, making a difference. And I did some work this week where I've done lots of things this week, and it's all been great, and I've really enjoyed all of it. But there were some things that were really, I could see some really significant transformation in people, and they were feeling better about themselves and the business, and they were, you could just see that they were going to move forward, and it made such a difference. And seeing the difference that me and my business make to other people makes me want to do more of that. And I think if we can all find that, that's different for everybody. If we can all find that thing where we want to do more of it. And what would that be for you? What is it that drives you forward? And
I think a very similar thing. I think there's something I was picking up there. For some reason, my brain's fixated on these parallels with romantic love and all the rest of it, in terms of long, sustainable relationships here, is that you have to remember, in relationships that are going to be meaningful to you and to your partner, that means something that sustains you, and you want to be in that situation here, is that what you might consider to be tedium is naturally part of that cycle. So whether it's taking out the rubbish, the domestic chores, going shopping, do all those things that in themselves aren't particularly exciting and stimulating, but they're necessary to be sort of have that part of that fabric there as well. It's also to keep at your focus what your Northern Star is. What is the reason you're doing all this? And the reason you're in business, to deliver your why, is, obviously to make money. Otherwise it would be just a hobby, but it's also to make a difference, make an impact, be in control of your own destiny, to actually make a difference to somebody's life. Whatever your why is, you need to make sure you've always got that at the forefront, because there will be times, and we all have that times of the year, times of the day, you might be feeling a bit flaggy, a bit tired, a bit irritable and whatever, and you lose sight of that why there as well. So I think you just need to have that as a focus. There are things we're going to share later on, by the way, folks, about how you maintain that spark, how you maintain that energy. But for me, I love it. I love being in control. I love helping people. I love getting paid for it as well. I love making a difference. And I always think that if I look back in terms of that trajectory here, that's the thing that keeps me going. That's the reason why I don't mind working, long hours and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and I think, to be realistic as well, 'cause all of this is realistic, but love doesn't always run smoothly in any relationship, and it's the same in business. And sometimes it can be really hard to love your business where you might be struggling to grow, you might have cash flow issues, you might have staffing problems, or so on, or you might just be generally feeling super burnt out, and that does happen to a lot of people. And I think the thing to do there is, like any relationship, is if we focus on the negatives, then we're going to see more negative stuff.
Yeah,
We've talked on the
100%.
show before about confirmation bias, which is where we see evidence for things that we already believe to be true. We just everything we see around us validates the existing perception. So it's about getting ourselves, disrupting that mindset, and saying, and not getting into a vicious cycle of just seeing everything as being negative, and being able to step back and go, okay, this is where we are. Right, we need to move forward from here. What are we going to do to rebuild this, and bring this back, and bring back some spark? And it might be hard work to do that at first, but you can over time, when you see results, start to feel positive about things again. Because love is a verb, it's something that we do, and it's something that requires work. It's an action. So the more we actively make an effort to love our business and do and nurture it, even when and especially when it's tough, the more we will get back and feel better about it ourselves too, I think.
I think that's a valid point. And I think there's two things that are coming out from that analogy. I think one is you've got to feel comfortable about confronting things. So, if it was a relationship that's perhaps not seeing, is going through a patch or some problems there, you've got to be able to confront the issues and not bury your head under in the sand, hide under the duvet. Sometimes also, I know it works. You've got to relate, for example, helping in terms of marriage guidance. Sometimes you've got to go for outside help that says, look, I'm in this situation here. I've got problems with staffing. I've got problems with growing. I seem to be spending lots of energy but not making regular money. I don't actually understand about forecasting. Well, I know I've got to get to grips with them. Can you help me? Don't be afraid of seeking outside expert help when you need to be. I'm not obviously making a plug directly for ourselves, but obviously, folks, that's what we're here for, is to help you. So don't be afraid of seeking external outside help. It's not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of growth, and it's a sign of maturity. And also, don't hide your head in the sand under the duvet. If there's a problem, it's a challenge, it's an opportunity, you've got to deal with it. You can't just hide under it, otherwise you will get flattened and you will lose your business.
And I think it's about how can you find moments to celebrate. Are you tracking your progress? Are you seeing are you putting in the right actions? Are you enjoying the process of being in business and growing your business? Because it can sound like it's a great emotion to have, but we don't have any emotion all the time. Our emotions are constantly changing, and if we are not feeling great about something today, we're out of love with something in our business today, well, with a bit of work that can change. It's going to change. It's really about not allowing ourselves to have the mindset where we get stuck in a place that doesn't serve us, I think, and find the things that really work and make you sparkle and bring you that happiness of being in business, because that's why we do it. And if we're really not enjoying it over the long term, then it's also about, as you said, Mahmood, I think, confronting things and going, actually, I've been trying and I've given it my best, and I've worked with this. It's not working out for me. I'm going to go and do something else. I'm going to change direction and do something different. And that's okay as well, isn't it? That's okay.
Well, absolutely. As well. I mean, listen, we talk about parallels to relationships that mean something in your personal lives as well. So I think it's the same for your business as well. Sometimes things just don't work out. So if you feel you've given it your all, you've tried whatever, and you don't feel it's getting you anywhere, you're not getting that enjoyment, you're not getting that positive feeling, you're not making money, then revisit it. It may be that the current business relationship you've got is one that's toxic, is one that is run out of steam, is one that's not going to work. So it's weird actually. It's a bit of a contradiction, isn't it? Don't become too emotionally attached to this thing called your business, but also have some attachment to it and understand it and see what goes on there. It's amazing, Joe. I think we also have a business marriage relate service for business.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, talking of relate, that the number of sort of people who are business partners who set up some things, and then, you know, 20 years later or whatever, one of them wants to move on and do something else, another wants to stay in the business, you know, they can't afford to buy each other out or whatever it is. You know, the number of, sometimes it can be relationships in business, can't it, that are the reason that we fall out of love with it.
Yeah.
You know, because we're just fed up of working with that person that, you know, we're putting the effort in and they're not, or vice versa. And I see so many partnerships go down that route.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I agree with you there, and I've seen it between family members. Yeah. I've seen it with husband and wife, and you know, it's about communication. It's about openness and transparency. It's about having those conversations that might be difficult and challenging. I think certainly the best partnerships that I see are working in business are ones that you've got open communication, you've got transparency, you've got that thing that says if we're partners in a domestic sense, or we're friends, or we're family, once we get into that space of business, that family relationship goes to one side to some extent, and we're going to talk about things that bother us. If we can't rise above it, we're going to confront it, we're going to deal with it. We've also got shared objectives. You know, what do we both want out of this relationship here? And I think if you can't do that, you will find eventually that the business will come crashing down.
Yeah, and I mean, we're super lucky because I think we've got a fantastic business partnership, you and I, and we have those conversations. We don't always see everything the same, but we have the shared values, and we will, you know, we speak up and say what we think, but without, you know, neither of us takes offence. It just
absolutely.
is. And I think this is where sometimes people can fall out of love with the business, because they're falling out of love with the relationship that they've got with other people in the business. They're not speaking out because they don't want to upset them, or they're frightened of what they will say or do or think of them if they speak up, especially sometimes, not always, but especially in family businesses or friendship businesses. And, you know, if you're in that position and you're not enjoying the business because of a difference that you've got there that is unaired, all that will happen, like any relationship, is that it will fester and the resentment will grow over time, and it'll feel harder and harder to sort out because you've let more time go by. You know,
it's that little pebble of an issue that actually becomes a much bigger issue in your own mind, because you're the one who's debating it in your own mind. You're not vocalizing it. And you know, the weird thing is, Joe, I found that with other business partnerships that I've come across, is that when that problem is there, the actual issue itself is like, there's no big deal, let's resolve it. But what it becomes then, it becomes something that's tinged with animosity, with acrimony, with frustration there as well. Folks, I know you might not believe it, by the way, and you're probably thinking, Joe never disagree about anything. We have disagreements. When we first discussed a business partnership a long time ago, we did that due diligence, we checked each other out, we had those conversations. On those occasions when Joe's wrong and I disagree with that, you know, fine, she'll take it on board. Between me and you, she's never wrong, by the way. But, you know, we do have disagreements about directions that we go and what we should do. But we talk about it as adults. We have that discussion, and we come, whatever we do, we both agree that's the way it is. So it's communication, I think, is really important. And if you're wary of talking to your business partner, if you're wary of talking to those people who are integral in your business, I think there's a red flag there.
Yeah, we've got to face into things, you know, to be happy with life, to be happy with relationships, and to be happy with business. We've got to face into things and take a deep breath and have the conversations that we need to have, or confront the issues, or sort out the stuff that's not working for us, rather than just bury it. And it's just really important to do that. And, you know, the more you know, if you're thinking about doing that and you're not sure, firstly, you know, let us know. You can contact us privately, and we'll give you some tips on how to frame 100%. It. Yeah, but the more you do it, the more confident you become. It's like you find your voice, and as long as you want what's best for you and, you know, and everyone in the long term, then I think it's constructive to speak up. if you don't speak up, I sort of see it as where people see issues but they don't say anything. That it's you're being part of the problem then by not saying it out loud and not getting it on the table. So this is the thing. So openness and feeling that we've been heard and that things are being progressed also helps us to stay in love and feel accountable and feel part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and openness doesn't mean brutality. Openness doesn't mean you have to be a dick or be horrible to somebody. Just as much kindness doesn't mean you're a soft touch there as well. So, do it with, there's a reason you got into partnership with somebody in the first place. There's a reason you might be working with fellow freelancers or the staff team that you've got. So therefore, remember and focus on that bit and have those grown-up conversations. And it's weird to say grown-ups, I mean, children have got no issue with vocalizing what's in their mind and speaking out there as well. So, don't lose that sense of childhood, if you want to call it that. And words in themselves aren't the things that are going to actually make untold damage there. So, folks, listen, it's always the soft things as well. And I would also throw into the mix, I know you do it a lot, Joe, and I'm going to try and do it myself, is I know you like to break your week up where you don't actually have business as such, but you have some time. You take your PhD qualified bulldog out with a walk and all the rest of it, but you enjoy the freshness and you connect with nature. And do you find that a real valuable part of keeping yourself fresh and in love with your business?
Oh, definitely. And he's a very bright. He's called Paddy, my bulldog.
He's a beautiful dog, by the way, folks.
His pedigree name's got Einstein in it, so he must be super bright.
Is he really?
That's true. That's true. But doing the things that you love reminds you why you're in business, and what you're doing all of this for, and what it's all about. And I think just anyway, stepping out of things and having a bit of space, just as in relationships. It's good to spend a lot of time together, but sometimes it's nice to go and do different things, isn't it? And then you appreciate each other all the more when you come back together. So it's about that as well. And the other thing I'd say about staying in love with your business is being playful and having some fun with it. We work really, really hard, and it's about making sure that we play as well, that we enjoy things, we have some fun, we have a few laughs, and because that's just life is too short not to do that, but it benefits the relationship with our business. And actually, there's lots of research that shows it benefits creativity and productivity as well. So bring that into the mix.
Very good. Yeah. You're in ultimate control, aren't you? If you think about, there's nothing wrong by being employed by somebody, by the way. If that suits some individual, that's fantastic. Okay, make sure you know your idea of why you're doing your business. But if the business life is for you, it's not the same mindset as working for somebody else. So you're going to have more responsibilities. Ultimately, you're in the driving seat. Ultimately, you're at the head of the bus driving it there as well. And if you're not, that's quite reckless and quite dangerous. You're the one that's at ultimate control. It doesn't mean micromanaging, by the way, but it means it's your vision. People are coming along on your journey to support you on that. I think it's brilliant. I couldn't go back to a full-time paid job with somebody else. They probably wouldn't employ me anyway. But that idea of decision making, doing what you want and all the rest of it, that's the fun part. And it's amazing, how enjoyable it can be.
Yeah. I think bear in mind as well that nobody will love your business as much as you do, or quite as intensely as you do. So we all love our businesses more, and the people that we take on or that work with us, they might love it a lot, but it's like Paddy the dog. I think he is exceptionally bright. I've still got to convince Mahmood, but he's my dog. So, excuse me, I'm going croaky. So
he's not as bright as Joe, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just appreciate that you're the one that's driving it. You're the one that's loving it, and it's about you inspiring that in other people as well. I'm going to just have a swig of tea, Mahmood.
Well, while Joe's having a swig of tea, so let's have a bit of a recap here, folks. So we're drawing the analogy and the parallel that your business and you is like having a meaningful relationship as you would do in your personal lives. So whoever your choice of partner is, if you want that to be sustainable, not a one-night fling or just a passing thing, you want it to be meaningful, sustainable, whatever, then you've got to take what you do to make that work, and you've got to translate that and transfer that to your business. So it's about communication, it's about being honest, it's about confronting things, it's about understanding the values that you want expressed in your business. It's about being enjoyable, and it's knowing there are some tasks and things that have to be done. You might not considerably think they're particularly sexy, set the world on fire, but they've got to be done to make it meaningful. So think dishwasher, taking out the trash, whatever you want to call it, you're going to have those same tasks in your business there as well. So look at it as the whole, don't look at it as micro steps.
I think that's a really, really good summary, and it's about keeping at it. Know yourself, know what you want and what's important to you, and know what you want from your business, and then structure your time, your activities, and your focus towards achieving that. And having that clarity will help you have lots of love and fun and romance with your business going forward.
I love the way you put that. So look, folks, what we want you to do is have a happy Valentine's celebration with your business. It doesn't matter physically when the anniversary of your business start that date, by the way, but use this opportunity to reconnect if you haven't already. Get that energy, get that love back into your business, because there's a practical reason for it as well. Business owners, generally speaking, do not work conventional 9 to 5. I've met very few what I call business owners that can actually realistically switch off and say, I'm never going to think about my business at all. You might think about it, you've got more blue space being created, you've got more thinking time, but you can't turn off necessarily. So your business is part of you. There's an overlap between your personal and business life. You don't want it to dominate necessarily, but if you're going to enjoy it, think of it as a romantic relationship that's going to have meaning behind it, and take it seriously.
Yeah, that's a great summary. So, and I hope you all have a fantastic Valentine's Day. It's a day like any other, I suppose, but it's just a good opportunity to stop and think about your business. Treat yourself, treat the business to maybe a bit of fun. And reflect on what you want, and all the best 100%. For the rest of 2022. Yeah,
100%. And Hallmark, if you're listening, by the way, if you're going to take in the ideas from me and Joe, and you want to create romantic business Valentine's cards, remember the royalties that we need some of them coming this way, folks. If you want to keep in touch, by the way, log on to mahmoodandjoe.com, send us a comment in the box. We always check the comments anyway. And until then, folks, as Joe said, enjoy your chocolates, enjoy your Hallmark cards, enjoy your flowers, and we'll see you bright and breezy next week.
See you next time.
I think it's only right, Joe, that we actually go out with, if I can find the damn thing.